Hello, public speaking students. Welcome to Unit 6. Let's do a quick walkthrough of what's due this week. So obviously, the first thing you need to do when you come into class is check the announcements. You want to make sure that you are up to date on everything that is due and any announcements from the university, so always check here. And then let's talk about what we have going on in Unit 6. So let's start here at the very first page of the unit, and we'll do a quick overview of what is due. What is really important for you to read this week are the learning objectives that are addressed this week, so you want to be sure to review that. The unit objectives are to deliver persuasive policy speech in front of a live audience, conduct an audience analysis, and to locate supporting materials for a speech using an online database. So to that end, you're going to read the Unit 6 lecture. It's a short lecture, but really important. It has a lot of great information that you're going to need to use for creating your speech this week. So your discussion for this week, the first one is going to be on selecting a topic for your speech 4, which is persuasive policy speech. That's going to be in the motivated sequence organizational structure. And so you're going to be completing this discussion on your topic and audience analysis. It's very similar to ones you have done previously. For your homework this week, you are going to be conducting research for your 4th speech it's a persuasive speech, the one that you'll be using the motivated sequence for. This is different than the persuasive speech you're actually creating in Unit 6. So this one is for the one that is in Unit 8. And this is very similar to the other research that you have been doing for your other speeches. You're going to be using the same speech research form. Let's see if we can open that up here. So you'll be using the same form that you have been using. You want to make sure that you are filling out every single piece of this. If you don't have a volume number, make sure to put NA, and that way I know that you know that it's supposed to be there if it is available, okay? So you're going to complete that this week for your final speech. And then you will be giving your 3rd speech this week. Remember, it has to be in front of a live audience of 6 adults. This is a persuasive speech on policy. So you're going to want to identify a policy. For example, it could be a recycling program at the place where you work. It could be on vaccinating children, but it needs to be something that is an actual policy, and it needs to be persuasive. So you can't just give an informative speech on vaccinating children. It needs to be a speech that takes an arguable point of view, either for or against vaccinating children, and then you need to present that in a way that persuades your audience to change that policy. So let's say you are presenting to the school board, your local school board, and you want to change their policy that only students that have been vaccinated can be admitted into the public school system. Then that would be your persuasive argument. So you make sure that you have a persuasive argument. Make sure that you have an arguable point of view. So just be sure that you're not just giving an informative speech. Be sure that your introduction clearly has an attention getter. It should open with the attention getter. That should be the first thing that you say. You immediately want to get your audience's attention. Have a clear topic or thesis statement. Explain why that topic is relevant to the audience. And you really, 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 really need to state your credibility on the topic. So if you are talking about vaccinating children, you would say your credibility on the topic is that you have been an advocate against childhood vaccines for 15 years. You've spoken in front of Congress. I don't know. You have a master's degree in public health, something like that. And then you need to preview the main points of your body. Make sure you include transitions in your speech from point to point. Make sure in your body of your speech you are clearly supporting your thesis. Make sure you are citing any materials that you're using orally. So if you are citing the National Institutes of Health, you would say something like the National Institutes of Health on vaccination is blah, blah, blah. And you want to conclude by restating or reiterating your thesis. Just give a wrap up of the topic and then close with a really strong closing statement. I call that the clincher or the zinger. This is your drop the mic moment, and you want to really leave your audience thinking about your speech. So that is what we have going on. Oh, and you have a Unit 6 quiz on the materials this week as well. So let's just recap that very quickly. In Unit 6, you will be completing all of the preparatory materials. You have a discussion on the topic and audience for your fourth speech, which is another persuasive speech in the motivated sequence design. You are going to be completing the research for that using the research form. In Unit 6, you're going to be delivering the third speech. So the homework is related to the fourth speech. The speech is actually the third speech. It is a persuasive policy speech. So you need to make sure you have an arguable point of view and argue for whichever side you are taking on the issue. And you'll be completing the Unit 6 quiz. If you have any questions, please let me know.